Hi, this is Shaheedah Hill, getting you over the hill to home ownership and helping you confidently buy your first home. Today, we're talking about what kind of market we are in and how can you tell what kind of market you're in, and specific questions you should ask your realtor about the market, and they should be able to answer these questions. There are 7 questions. I want you to ask them, and I want them to be able to give you the data. I need to make this video because a lot of times it's the education piece that we have to do as agents up front so that buyers understand the market, so they're not wasting too much time with offers that are not going to be accepted, not knowing what kind of market they are in. And it's going to vary by area, but I had to make this video, so I'm making it. I'm probably going to do it in one take. Please take notes on it. I don't have time for animations and screen things, so take notes so you can have a really good discussion with your buyer's agent up front. So first, what kind of market are we in? Typically speaking, a buyer's market, let's go to a seller's market because that's what we're in right now in most areas. A seller's market is when inventory has less than about 3 to 4 months. Okay, so less than 3 to 4 months of inventory available, meaning if no other homes were listed, all homes would sell within 3 to 4 months. There are enough buyers that all homes would sell within 3 to 4 months. In a lot of areas, for example, in Atlanta, in a lot of areas, inventory is less than 2 months. And it goes by price range as well. So maybe under 200,000, it might be a month of inventory available in Atlanta. So basically, in 1 month, every home that's available will be sold. So you want to know what is the inventory in your market like. And I'm going to tell you specifically, and that's one of the 7 things to ask for. So 3 to 4 months is typical of a seller's market, closer to 3. When you get to 4 to 6, it's a balanced market. So that means that there's enough inventory that all things will be gone within about 6 months. And let me go back a little bit. In a seller's market, sellers are in control. They're getting multiple offers. There are not a lot of homes to choose from. So as a buyer, you can't ask for as much if you want to get your offer accepted. Now, you can find opportunities in this market where homes have been on the market for longer. They may need some cosmetic improvements where you may be able to ask for more repairs, ask for more closing costs. But if a house is going to get 10 offers, if you want your offer to stand, apart, you're going to have to not ask for as many things or go over, bid over sometimes. And we'll talk about that in a second. So second is balanced market. So I would say 4 to 6 months balance. You can ask for some things. There's going to be, more negotiation. Sellers aren't getting, multiple offers. They might get 1 or 2. So you have a better opportunity to get things. And then a buyer's market is when inventory is about 6 months or higher. So 6 months or higher, you go write your ticket. You're probably going to get your closing costs paid. You're probably going to, be able to ask for repairs because there are so many there's so many sellers in the market and there's not enough buyers. So they're really going to, deal with you or make a deal with you to try to get their house sold. So that's kind of how the market works as far as inventory. So the first thing you want to ask your buyer's agent for is an absorption report. That's what they call it in Atlanta. An absorption report, like how many months of inventory are available in my price range and in my area. So you can do this by county, by city, by subdivision. Like they could really, narrow it down. But you should know in general, in your price range and in your area, what's the absorption rate. If they don't call it the absorption rate, they may call it how many months of inventory are available in this area. And then you have a better idea of what kind of market it is in. So again, if it's like 2 to 3 months of inventory, it's a seller's market or less. If it's 4 months or, higher 3 months of inventory, then it might be a balanced market. And then 5, 6 could be I'm saying this backwards. It could be a buyer's market. So just know that. And like when I bought my home, it was a balanced market. But the home that I was specifically buying was on the market for more than 30 days. So that's somebody that you're going to be able to negotiate with. I got a new HVAC and she paid $6,000 of our closing costs. That would not happen in this market. Okay, just FYI, that probably would not happen in this market. All right, so that's number one, the absorption report. Number two, you want average days on the market for your price range. So for your price range, how quickly are things coming off the market on average? Is it 2 days? Is it 3 days? Is it 30 days? Because the longer things are staying on the market, the more opportunity you will have. Number three, average closing costs paid. On average, how much are sellers paying in closing costs? And they could find this out as well. And I would tell them to do maybe a 30, 60-day report on this, on what's the average closing cost being paid. So you have an idea, because I have clients sometimes, they're like, I want them to pay all of my closing costs. And, we put in an offer. Of course, it doesn't get accepted. They're disappointed. But then it takes maybe about 2 to 3 offers getting declined or getting no responses for them to realize we are in a seller's market. Other people, if we're putting in 10 offers and we're asking for all of our closing costs paid, there are some people that are asking for nothing. You're not doing a competitive offer. But so I give them that report to say the average closing costs are maybe $1,000. And hold on to the end. I'm going to tell you something else about that report. All right. So number 4, percent of list price. How much are sellers getting of their list price? So if they listed for $100,000, are they getting 100%? Are they getting on average $100,000? Are they getting below list price, 95% of list price? Or are they getting 105% of list price or 110% of list price? Are they getting above list price on average during the closing? And again, I'm going to have a little update to that. So something you need to look out for. And then just average sales price. So average sales price, I think this is number 6. What are they asking for? What is the average sales price in my area? If I want to live in a particular city or a particular subdivision, what is the average sales price? And again, you can do this because our market is moving so quickly. I would say a 30 or 60-day report of that. So you would have that. Every time you do an offer, this is number 7. Every time you do an offer, your buyer's agent should run a CMA before you make an offer. So you have a good opportunity to review the comps before you put an offer. In that subdivision or in that community, what homes have sold for recently, the last 30, 60, 90 days, enough days so you get enough information, maybe at least 3 to 4 similar homes. So you have a good idea of what kind of offer you should make. They should be running a CMA before you make an offer. Also, you want to know, and this is number 8, you want to know, did that person, the offer get accepted? Was it conventional financing? Was it cash? Was it FHA? Was it USDA? Your agent should be able to tell you that as well, because even though you might be making, so say you're making an FHA offer and somebody else made a conventional offer and maybe it was a little bit less, but that seller did not want to go with FHA and they wanted to go with conventional, that you may still lose out on that home. If you have not watched my videos about the 6 tips to get your offer approved, that's one of them. Sometimes they don't want to do FHA because it might, have some repairs or something else that comes up. So they might go with conventional, even though your offer was a little bit more than the conventional offer if you're doing FHA. So be mindful about that. And then lastly, I want to say, for all of this data that your agent is able to give you, just know this. So say that buyer put in an offer, right? And their offer gets accepted at that sales price and at that closing cost. Now, during that transaction, that offer or that contract can change. So say they put in an offer for $350,000 and no closing costs. $350,000, no closing costs. But then they do their inspections and they realize, well, the roof or the HVAC needs to be repaired. Now we want a $3,000 credit on our closing costs. And the seller agrees. So now they're getting $3,000 credit to their closing costs, and that's going to show up in the data, even though the offer said 0 closing costs, right? So you're not going to be able to see that usually unless your buyer's agent calls and said, what was your original offer? What did it include closing costs, or is that just a result of the transaction? Also, what you're not going to see is, so you put in your offer for $350,000, the appraisal came in at $330,000. And then the seller agreed to sell it at $330,000. And all you see is that, oh, they got $330,000. We offered them $340,000 and they didn't take our offer, but they took somebody for $330,000. You don't know what that appraisal came in at for them to negotiate that price back down. So you have to kind of think about those things ahead of time, and not just when you're looking at the data say, well, we put an offer for $10,000 more and they took, this. We don't know what the appraisal came in at, and you don't know what negotiations happened prior to them, or during or after, sorry, not prior. You don't know what negotiations happened after that initial offer. So be very mindful of that. Talk to your buyer's agent. Make sure they can give you that information. If they don't know how to pull it, you may want to, interview another agent, but they should give you that information so you have the information needed to make a good offer in any market, in a seller's market, in a balanced market, in a buyer's market. You're going to make a good offer, and you're going to have a strong opportunity to get your offer accepted. Like when I knew the property was on the market for 30 days, so I'm like, okay, she's probably motivated. If it was on the market for 2 days, and there were 10 cars outside waiting to be lined up, I was like, if I want my offer to be accepted, I'm not going to ask for her to fix the HVAC. I'm not going to ask for $6,000 in closing costs. And I think the conflict comes in with some buyers is that they see the competition, but they still want, let's offer $10,000 less. Let's try to get all our closing costs paid. And then you're on your strategy and your agent strategy, because they know the market, are not in alignment, and there's a lot of conflict there. So I tried my best to educate up front for my clients so they understand the market and we can be on the same page. If there is a house that has been, back on the market 2 times and, it's been on the market for 45 days, now that home, that specific home, even though we're in a seller's market, I know we're probably dealing with a motivated seller, because there's something with that house that it hasn't sold yet. And then I'm going to, base the offer or recommend my clients base the offer off of that. Not just, it's a seller's market, let's offer them full price. So each transaction, so each offer, we're going to discuss, we're going to do a CMA, we're going to see what the neighborhood is. You should be doing that for every offer you submit, and then trying based on the market to make the most competitive offer possible if you really want the home. If you're kind of just window shopping, then you need to make sure your agent understands that, because, in this market, if you're trying to get offers accepted, then you have to do things that are a little bit more competitive. I'm not saying, you have to bid, so high or outside of your comfort level, but you need to bid enough to be competitive if you are thinking, I want this house. I hope this was helpful. Please talk to your agent up front so you understand your local market and you can make the best decisions possible. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments. Sorry about any rambling, but I have to put this video out today. It's very important to me to get this information out, because a lot of buyers have these questions. Thank you so much. Please like and subscribe to my channel for new videos every week.